In this video I'm going to be showing you my Fusor, along with the basic assembly, some of the equipment used, and ultimately the nuclear reaction contained within the device. I started with a block of aluminium that I cut into two 100 by 100mm squares. I then taped them together and drilled 4 holes into them so that I could have 4 bolts that lined up perfectly with each other. I then added a bit of an acrylic tube to house the main chamber. This is the bottom of the device. You can see underneath that there's a wire connected to a white tube, which is connected to those spindled wires. There's also some glue in the middle, along with a circle cut bit of rubber, which is covered in some vacuum grease, which I'll get back to in a sec. This is the wire that I used to make the coil, along with this acrylic tube. It's actually a barbecue lighter. The reason I used it is because it has a lot of heat resistance, as well as a high electrical resistance. So it's perfect for what I needed it for. This is the top of the device. You can see that it's got a circle bit of rubber on it. This didn't come like that. I actually bought it in just a sheet of rubber, which I then cut out for myself to use as a seal against the vacuum. And to form the chamber I used a bit of acrylic instead of glass because it's easier to cut and it's a lot cheaper too. Assembly is very easy. I simply grab the acrylic tube and place it between the 2 rubber mounts, making sure that I align them properly so that I don't get any vacuum leaks. I then place the 4 bolts in, only doing them up finger tight just to make sure that I don't have any leaky vacuum seals before doing a final tighten with the spanners. One of the most important parts of the Fusor is this high voltage rectifier. That may sound like a complicated piece of equipment, but it's actually quite simple to use and operate. All it is a bit of PVC pipe, some bolts, wires, diodes, and it's full of this mineral oil. The mineral oil acts as a coolant because the amount of voltage going through the thing can actually cause it to get quite hot and even melt. So I've drawn it up here to show you how it works. Just for reference, this represents the top of the device and this is the 2 sides. So here we've got a wire put into an S shape going towards the middle, and on this side we have the same thing. Before they get to the middle though, they pass through these 2 little things called diodes. This is what a diode looks like. And what a diode does is it converts current from AC to DC. As we know, alternating current means it goes forward and backward. But once it goes through this diode, it can't come back the way it came. So then it's converted to DC, direct current. And it's forced to go up here, which is our positive DC, which then goes into the coil in the Fusor. This device here is called a variac. What it allows me to do is dictate the amount of electricity going into the high voltage transformer. How it works is, this is the input that goes into a power source such as a wall socket, which puts power into the Fusor, and then ultimately whatever you've plugged into this standard 10 amp plug. Once you're ready to go, you'll press the power button. You'll hear the device starting to hum, and then you can start turning the dial. You'll see down here the voltage meter starts to go up. Once it gets to about 180, the Fusor will start to light up. Once it gets to its full capacity at 260, you'll be seeing some really pretty light shows. This is the 2-stage high vacuum pump. It's quite simple to use. All you do, plug a bit of garden hose up here, make sure it's nice and secure, and then you'll plug this end into the Fusor itself. Once you're ready to go, this will be plugged into the Fusor, you switch it on, and that will create the vacuum for you. This is a high voltage transformer. It converts 240 volt AC into 12,000 volt AC. The device is very dangerous, it being used by someone who is inexperienced or not using it correctly. To make sure that I'm safe at all times, I have it plugged directly into the variac, turned down to 0 with the switch off, and only used when I'm 100% ready to be using it. Once we're sure everything is in order, we're ready to start using the Fusor. First, we have to put down a piece of rubber because at high voltage, wood actually conducts electricity. Now we put the Fusor in place, and I like to face it away from me so that I don't put any kinks in the bottom wire. Once the Fusor is in place, I grab the rectifier and make sure that it's plugged into the transformer correctly. These 2 wires connect to the high voltage transformer and then connect to the AC in on both sides of the rectifier. We also connect an earth to one of the bolts on the Fusor. Then finally, we connect the garden hose to the top of the Fusor and we're ready to start pumping out the air to make a vacuum. Once we have a good vacuum, we turn on the variac and increase the voltage to create the fusion process. So there you go, working fusion. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you liked it. If you're looking at building one of these things yourselves, be sure to check out labfriend.com.au. They're a great bunch of people. They actually know what they're selling and what they're talking about, and they stock all sorts of stuff, not just stuff to build your own nuclear reactor at home. Subscribe for more and leave a comment, and I'll be sure to get back to you. See you later.